and welcome to another episode with Rise and Thrive with a Purpose. And I always start by saying that there's the two most important days in life are the ones when you were born, and number two, when you find out why. And this podcast serves you to get inspired and help you out to find that purpose in life. Today I want to talk about leadership. There's so many topics about this subject, leadership. And actually, we all were born to be leaders in different levels and different positions, places, right? I always say that this actually starts since early ages. And the leadership style actually is shaped by childhood during teenagers years and what you see, what you listen. And I want to start this subject by sharing a story about my father. And he's like my hero, and there's so many things I learned about him. And I can say that I look up for a great example that he actually led and left, and in peace. I always pray that in peace he rests. And it's that he was a giver. He was a politician, a man very well known in the Dominican Republic. And one thing I remember about him, it doesn't matter how much power, how much money he made, he was always humble. He was always serving others. He was always looking the way of how can I help and how can I provide, or how can I make this center better and all that. So he always worked in the public sector, in the government. And so he was in charge. He was an economist and was in charge to make centers and a lot of things better as an economist. And I always say that our children do not do what we tell them to do. They do what they see. And so throughout my childhood and my teenagers, always see him, how he suffered for the pain of others and how much he loved people. And that's why on my leadership today's day, I love people so much. In fact, one of my companies, my real estate company, the slogan is your real estate movement, people over profit. And it's because real estate is one of the biggest investment that anybody can do in their life. And so it's a huge decision. It's a big deal. So it's a people business. Even though a lot of agents probably take it away to make money, nothing wrong with that, but the main focus should be people. And why am I sharing all this? Because one of my strong businesses is real estate. And I learned watching my father helping out, giving out, and a lot of times he would just forget about him. And at the end of the day, like I learned that he always got great fruits, success, people that want to be around him, people that follow him, and it's because he truly care and love people. And as a government and as a politician person that he was, it's a great example for me. Now let's talk a little bit about you. What type of example you have in your life? You probably do not have the better example, or you probably do have the better example. And so it's important that we sit down and we start analyzing what type of leadership we have. What is the leadership style that we have? Is it the best? As a John Maxwell certified coach, teacher, and mentor, I love when John Maxwell talks about that leaders love people, but boss love to actually give a command, and they really love people. And so I'm not saying, so as a leader, yes, we have several positions, whether it's in the public sector, whether it's in the private sector, whether it's in your business. It is important that you understand that number one thing is that to love people, because if we are guiding and leading people, we must understand that we're dealing with human, with feelings, with emotions. So your number one asset in any company, if you're a founder, if you're the CEO, the owner, is that you care about people and make sure their need is addressed. If you have a people's business, you make sure that the number one priority is people's need. And why I'm saying all this, because we need this so much nowadays. Nowadays, people are so like in a train, they want everything in microwave, and we tend to forget the personal touch, right? We tend to forget to actually follow up and take the time to have an active listening conversation with people. Do you know that as if any real estate agent is watching, as real estate agents, the number one problem solving of any transaction is by listening actively. And that first meeting, and that first interview that you do with your customers, with your buyers, with your sellers. And the same thing apply in any people's business. Again, we need, I wanted to emphasize this episode so much on people, because I think we're lack on that now with AI, with the artificial intelligence. Nothing wrong with that. We need to use technology as we evolve, as we grow. We need to embrace system, but there has to be something that can never be replaced, and it's that human touch. And as leaders, we want to make sure that to analyze our leadership style is the right one, is the best, because that starts from early in the childhood. And again, you might have the right example, you might have the wrong example. So it's important to take the time and analyze and ask yourself if what type of things you can improve, what are the things that are actually constructive for others. And yes, and make sure you apply and do the necessary changes so you can continue to thrive and rise, right? So thank you again for watching this episode. It's always a pleasure to bring you a little bit of stories, interviews that can actually inspire you to get there, to get clarification, and make sure that you get there faster and you get there the right way. Success is for everyone, but are you taking the decision to be successful? It takes a decision to do it. Well, thank you again for watching. See you in the next one.